They danced while my baby was being buried. That's the kind of parents I had. And when I stood in front of them, holding the ashes of the only child I'll ever have, they had the audacity to say, "We didn't think it was that big of a deal." My knees didn't buckle. My heart didn't crack. It shattered into dust. They chose balloons, cake, and a poolside photo shoot for my brother's promotion over saying goodbye to their grandchild. If you've ever felt like the black sheep, abandoned or betrayed by your own blood, hit that like, subscribe, and share. Someone else might need this too. I didn't scream. I didn't throw anything. I just stared. My mom looked annoyed, like I had ruined her mood by showing up uninvited. My dad avoided my eyes, but I caught the smirk on my brother's face. "You should have told us earlier," he said, sipping champagne. Told them what? That my baby died gasping for air in my arms while I begged 911 to come faster? That I held her hand until it turned cold? Ava, that's me. I was always the invisible one. The one they left out of vacations, parties, even group texts. But this wasn't just neglect. This was cruel. And they thought I would cry and disappear again. But not this time. I had already planned the one thing that would make them regret every second of their celebration. They thought this was just grief. But grief was about to become revenge. The last time they saw me cry, I was 17, standing outside in the rain after my mom locked the door because I came home late from my shift at the diner. They told me I was a burden, said I was just like those girls who trap themselves in messy lives. So, I learned to keep everything to myself, including the pregnancy, the complications, the hospital visits, and eventually, the funeral. I sat alone in the back row of the cemetery. No family, no flowers from them, not even a text. Meanwhile, they were popping champagne bottles with gold confetti for Brandon, my perfect brother, the legacy of the family, who got promoted to senior director at some tech firm I helped him get into. They even posted, "Proud parents celebrating our golden boy." That same day, while I was clutching my baby's blanket like it was air. That's when I decided I wasn't going to cry anymore. I was going to build something. Quietly. I cashed out the savings I had tucked away from 3 side jobs and started working from my laptop. While they were out sipping mimosas, I was learning code. While they were at barbecues, I was building a medical app for underserved mothers, the kind who don't get the help in time, like me. At first, I got laughed at online. Then I started getting downloads. Then investors. Then features. Within 2 years, my startup wasn't just growing, it exploded. But I never told anyone. I didn't even show my face publicly. It wasn't about proving anything. Not yet. Not until they called me last week. "Hey, sweetie, we're renewing our mortgage and we listed you as a co-signer," Mom said like it was the most normal thing in the world. "You don't even live here anymore, so it wouldn't affect you, right?" I wanted to laugh, not because of the request, but because of what I knew. Their dream house? It was almost in foreclosure. Their golden boy? Drowning in credit card debt. And they thought I was still scraping by on tips. I calmly told them I'd come over for dinner. "It's time we talk," I said. They had no idea the storm I was bringing with me. When I walked into the house, it felt like stepping into a staged play. The table was set like it was Thanksgiving. Candles burning, fake smiles all around. My mom gave me a hug like we hadn't just ignored each other for 2 years. My dad patted my back and avoided eye contact, like always. And Brandon, he smirked like I was a lost puppy finally crawling home. "So good to see you, Ava," he said, sipping wine. "Still working at that grocery place?" I smiled. "Actually, I run a company now." They all blinked like I'd just spoken in another language. Mom raised an eyebrow. "A company? Like, a website?" Brandon snorted. "You mean like Etsy?" I pulled out my phone and tapped a few times. More like this. I turned the screen around. There it was. My app featured on Forbes. Not just listed. Cover story. Then the investor portfolio. The numbers. The millions in funding. The testimonials. The government contracts. All in my name. My mom dropped her fork. Brandon's jaw twitched. Dad finally looked me in the eyes. But I wasn't done. You remember that time you told me I wasn't built for anything more than folding clothes at the mall? I said quietly. Well, turns out I was building a platform that's saving lives now. They tried to recover. Mom mumbled, "We always knew you were smart." Brandon jumped in. "Maybe we could collaborate. You know, merge our ideas." I nearly laughed. Collaborate? After they deleted my pregnancy announcement from the family chat? After they refused to even acknowledge my daughter's death, but posted 137 photos of Brandon's pool party? Then I pulled out the manila envelope. "This is why I really came," I said, sliding it across the table. My mom opened it slowly. Her hands started shaking. "You bought the house?" she whispered. "No," I said, standing up. "I own the house. And the loan. And guess what? Your mortgage was sold to my investment firm 6 months ago." The silence was deafening. Then I looked directly at Brandon. "And your company? The one you brag about?" I paused. "I just became its majority shareholder last Friday." His wine glass slipped from his hand and shattered on the floor. Brandon stood up so fast his chair screeched. "You're bluffing," he barked. "There's no way you can't just walk in here and say you own everything." I didn't flinch. "I didn't walk in to say it, Brandon. I brought the receipts." I tapped on my phone again, mirroring the documents to their smart TV. In seconds, the screen lit up with legal filings, digital contracts, timestamps, and board approvals, all with my name on them. My mom gasped when she saw the mortgage transfer papers. My dad muttered something under his breath, then stormed into the kitchen like he could somehow drink away the disaster. Brandon was still frozen, staring at the documents like they were burning holes in his skull. He finally muttered, "Why would you do this?" I turned to him, calm but sharp. "Because while you were partying, I was surviving. You got promotions because I coached you before interviews. You got investors because I fixed your pitch deck while holding a crying baby in my lap. And when she died, you didn't even send a text. So I decided to stop helping and start building." The tension was so thick, it felt like time had stopped. My mom tried to soften her voice. "Ava, sweetie, we're still family." "No," I said, my voice low but firm. "Family doesn't abandon you at the darkest moment of your life. Family doesn't choose party lights over hospital lights. You made your choice." That's when I pulled out the final document. "This is an eviction notice," I said, sliding it across the table. "You have 30 days to vacate the property." My mom's eyes welled up. My dad came back in, saw the paper, and grabbed it with trembling hands. Brandon was pacing like a trapped animal. "You're throwing us out? Just like that?" my mom whispered. "No," I replied. "You threw me out a long time ago. I'm just returning the favor. With interest." They couldn't speak, couldn't move, couldn't breathe. But I wasn't finished. Because the final blow wasn't about the house. It was about who was watching. My eyes drifted to the hallway where a camera's red light blinked softly. "You might want to smile," I said coldly. "We're live." Brandon's face turned white. "What? What do you mean, live?" I stepped aside, revealing the videographer behind me. "This dinner? It's being streamed to my platform's community. A network of over 5 million women, mothers, daughters, survivors, who've followed my journey quietly. They've cried with me, grown with me, rebuilt with me, and now, They get to see what justice looks like. My mom lunged for the camera. Turn it off. This is private. I shook my head. Number, this is public. Because you made my pain public the day you ignored my daughter's funeral and plastered Brandon's party all over the internet. So let them see what happens when silence turns into power. The comment feed was exploding. Hearts, claps, rage emojis. You go, Ava. This is justice. She's a queen. My story had touched thousands, but now it was igniting millions. Brandon tried to save face. You've humiliated us. You think this makes you better than us? I stared at him, steady and calm. Number it doesn't make me better. It just makes me free. Then I turned to leave, my heels clicking against the hardwood as their world crumbled behind me. At the door, I paused. One more thing, I said, turning back just enough for them to see my eyes. My baby's name was Grace, the one you never even bothered to say out loud. This house will be turned into a shelter for grieving mothers. Every room will carry her name. And with that, I walked away. Not broken, not bitter, but reborn. Because sometimes the greatest revenge is becoming exactly what they said you never could be.